Hey friends, it's Kimberly. I'm not out on the campground cooking, so guess what? Doing a little cooking at home in my kitchen. So I had a special request tonight for a meal, and I'll tell you exactly what that is. Well, actually, I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to let the person who asked for it tell you. Peekaboo! Special guest, Carter is back in the house. Can you say hi?
Hello.
Are you ready to cook this meal?
Yes.
All right, tell everybody. Tell them what you wanted.
Meatloaf.
You got to speak louder. They're not going to be able to hear you.
Meatloaf.
Meatloaf. You know what? I did not even know this child liked meatloaf. So when he said meatloaf, I thought he was joking. I'm like, are you kidding? And he's like, no, I want meatloaf. Right? All right, so we're just going to tell you a little bit about what I put in my meatloaf because, Carter, how did you tell me you like your meatloaf? What was it you said you liked about it?
I like it.
No, remember what you told me at the store? Look out there and talk to everybody.
What was it?
The red sauce. Well, tell everybody. They're waiting to hear from you.
We use ketchup instead of tomato sauce.
Okay, see. All right, so yeah, he told me he liked the red sauce. Well, I'm not. I know a lot of people. That's the way that you fix meatloaf. That's just the way it is. That's the way meatloaf goes, I guess. But anywho, I'm not a ketchup meatloaf lover, so I don't put ketchup in my meatloaf or on my meatloaf. So if you put ketchup on your meatloaf and you prefer it that way, put it in comments. Give me a heads up. Kudos to you. That's the way you like it, and that's perfectly fine too. I'm just not a ketchup-y, meatloafy kind of girl. So I instead use tomato sauce. So I make my own sauce. So with my meatloaf, it is going to be tomato sauce. This is the sauce part. A little red wine vinegar and a little mustard and a little brown sugar. So that's what I make my sauce with. So when I mix my meatloaf, I do put some tomato sauce in the actual loaf itself while I'm blending it all up. But my sauce that I cook it in has these things. So you got your tomato sauce, you've got your red wine vinegar, you've got your brown sugar and a little bit of mustard. And you don't even know the mustard's there. At first when I thought about it, I mean, I've been doing this for years. I forgot where I found it. I found it a recipe somewhere. But I also, but anyway, when I heard the mustard, I was like, oh, yuck, that's gross. But it's really good. You can't even taste the mustard. So, and to make it a little bit healthier, I know meatloaf is not completely healthy, but to make it a little bit healthier, I use ground turkey instead of ground beef. And, of course, onion. We're going to be putting a Poblano pepper in there. Eggs. And I use saltine crackers. I know a lot of people use breadcrumbs and panko and things like that, but I use crackers, saltine crackers. So, and I do put a little packet of the meatloaf seasoning in it. Now I do also use peppercorns because that's what I like. I like peppercorns. I use quite a bit of peppercorns. I use the pink Himalayan salt because I love pink Himalayan salt. So that's what I use. And the Mennonites have really good fresh garlic. So I get the ground fresh garlic from the Mennonites and use that. So we're gonna throw all of this together. I'm gonna get it in the bowl and we're gonna mix it all up. And when all this is ready to be going in the bowl, I'm gonna bring you guys back with me and let you go with me the whole time, I guess. So, you ready, Carter? Mm-hmm. You ready to get started? Mm-hmm. Are you ready to act goofy? Mm-hmm. All right, let's go. Let's do some cooking. Uh-oh, I forgot. Okay, so here we are. And you can see that my turkey is now in. So I'm going to go ahead and throw in 1 can of my tomato sauce. I just dropped something, but it'll be all right. All right, so we've got 1 can of tomato sauce in now. I am going to add 3 eggs. Now, generally, everything I do is by taste and texture. So a lot of times when somebody asks for an exact recipe, I'm not going to know the exact recipe because I think I said on another video, I kind of take bits and pieces of all of my recipes and then kind of throw them together. Make changes as you will, you know, make it my own little recipe. So I'll take some ideas and I'm going to put this packet in there. This meatloaf packet here, I like to use this one. It's really good. And that was just a half a packet because it was a piece that I had left over. Now, again, I'm going to use my Himalayan pink salt. And I'm just going to just put a bunch of salt in here because, there we go. That should be enough. And then you can salt it to taste again later. And I'm adding my peppercorns. And again, once we mix all of this up, I can add anything that I need. I do a lot of things via consistency, and my meatloaf is one of them. I know the texture that I'm looking for. That's when I'll know that I have just the right amount of everything in there. So, I am going to throw on some gloves. Throw on a glove. And I'm going to just mix all this by hand. Just get it mixed up in there really, really well. So you can see that's going to be just about right before I add all of the other goodies. Now I do have my onions and my poblanos on the stove. I like to saute them a little bit. That way there's not any crunch, and just kind of blend those flavors together. Now I can see with this that, let me show you. So here's my poblanos and onions just kind of sauteing together. And I did add a little bit of minced garlic in there as well. Okay, so that looks like it's the right consistency there. So let me just take this glove off, throw that one away. And now it's time to add my crackers. Now, as I said, there's no rhyme or reason as to how many crackers I'm going to use. I'm just going to put them in there until I have the consistency that I want. I'll let my meatloaf I have. Looks like I dropped. I'm a messy cook, y'all. Who out there loves meatloaf? Let me know in comments if you love meatloaf or if you don't like it. Some people don't like meatloaf at all. Now, I will say that Charlie's going to be one happy camper because that's Charlie's favorite dish is meatloaf, and I very rarely make it. So when Carter said he wanted meatloaf, I was like, what? And then I told Carter, I said, you know what? Charlie is going to love you for life. He already does. Of course, Carter brought that to my attention. He's like, he already does. He already loves me. I said, well, he's probably going to want you over here all the time for supper now if you are going to ask for meatloaf. But Carter is going to get together and do another cooking video for us. Carter, what was it you said you were thinking about cooking this time? What is it?
Green enchilada soup.
Green chicken enchilada soup. Green chicken enchilada soup. So green chicken enchilada soup. So you guys be watching for that because Carter is a heck of a cook. And he loves to cook, and it always tastes so good. So he does have one video on here already with his specialty. What was the name of it?
I forget.
It was Fiona. He called it Fiona, but it's a chicken and shrimp and pasta dish that had a little bit of, I don't know, what it had, avocados and oregano. It had all kinds of goodness in it.
It didn't have avocado.
Did it not? Asparagus. It has asparagus.
Asparagus.
So,
It had lemon juice. That was a big thing.
lemon juice was a big thing. Lemon pepper. So if you haven't seen that video, go back and watch that video of Carter making his specialty dish. It was amazing, and it was a good video as well. So, okay, we've got our crackers, so I'm just going to mix this in and see if I'm where I want to be. And I think I'm gonna need more crackers. This is a larger meatloaf. So that's what we're gonna do now. Woo. So I'm gonna use my free hand to kind of crunch those up. We have Carter doing his own little music in the background. Okay, I think this is almost where I want it. Carter, can you do it? I'm gonna put a few more crackers in it. I know this seems like a lot of crackers, but it's really not. It just gets me to the consistency that I want. And I used, I believe this was 5 pounds. I think it was about 5 pounds. No, 3 pounds. I'm sorry. It was a 3 pound ground turkey package. So I used a sleeve and a half of crackers. So right here is going to make it about 2 sleeves. So I'm trying to keep up a little bit for you guys here. But yeah, I think this is going to do it. So when I get everything ready to put it in the, or actually I will bring you back when I'm mixing the sauce. Okay, so I brought you back just a few minutes earlier before I start the sauce. And the reason I did that is because I wanted to see you guys to see my sauteed onions, poblano peppers, and then there's just a little bit of minced garlic in there. I sauteed them in olive oil, or not olive oil, I'm sorry, avocado oil. So we'll just mix that around, and it is at the consistency that I want. So this time I will definitely bring you back when we're ready for the sauce. Okay, so we are ready to make our sauce. So I'm going to pour in a can of the tomato sauce. Somebody's trying to get on camera. And I'm going to do 2 cans of tomato sauce because, like I said, we do have a pretty big meatloaf back there. And after I've done that, I'm just going to pour in, I'm not sure how much it is. I don't know, that's probably about a cup or so. Looks like a hard spot there, so I'm going to get that out. Yeah. So that's probably about a cup or so. And then I'm going to take my red wine vinegar. Okay. Carter's going to pour the red wine vinegar in there. Just keep going until I say stop. Just squeeze it. Okay. Stop right there. And we'll check that out. And like I said again, that's probably, oh, I don't know, a couple, 2 tablespoons at least?
Yeah.
Roughly? Yeah. All right. So now it is time to
Such a good salt.
put our mustard in here. And like, again, I said the mustard, you really don't even know the mustard is in there. But I am going to do like a tablespoon and maybe a half.
Of course it's a good salt.
So there we go. Now I'm going to take, I need something to put my silverware on, so let's just get this here. All right, so I'm just going to whisk this together really nicely. I usually do add water to this, but since Carter said he likes a ketchup base, I'm not going to add the water this time. I'm going to leave it like this just to kind of give it a little extra thickness. And I'm just going to take like this and dribble it on my finger. And that is almost right. I do everything by taste, remember. So I'm going to add a little more of this red wine vinegar because I feel like it needs it. And a smidgen more of the brown sugar. And let's whisk it up one more time. think I am going to add just a little bit of water. And what I usually do is take the water and put it in the can to try to get the rest of this out. And I just put, if you can see, I just put a little bit in there. So I'm going to do that right there. That just gets the rest of our tomato sauce. Whisk it up. Now let me know what you guys, let me know in comments. Like I said, you know, how do you make your meatloaf? What do you like in your meatloaf? Do you even like meatloaf? I mean, I don't know. Maybe you can try my recipe out and let me know if it turned out well for you. What are you guys doing tonight? Carter's doing homework. I'm cooking. He just went and woke Charlie up because Charlie has to work tonight, so he just woke him up, so he'll be coming down to eat momentarily. So we got to get this big bad boy in the oven. So I'm going to taste it one more time. I'm going to put a little more of the brown sugar. The brown sugar, I think, is what, you know, it gives a little more sweetness. So I think that's kind of the thing with the ketchup. People like that little bit of sweetness that comes from the ketchup. So the brown sugar kind of adds a little bit of that. I don't like it real sweet, of course, but I don't want it too tangy either. So let's do this again. I think that's just about right. So we have our sauce, and I'm going to show you the meatloaf. So it is a big meatloaf. If you can see the dish, it's a big meatloaf. So we're going to pour the sauce over the meatloaf and put it in the oven. All right, so here's our big bad boy meatloaf. And I'm just going to pour the sauce over just like this. Cover it all up. And it's going to cook in this sauce. And this is what makes it so moist and flavorful and delicious. So all of our sauce is there. Let's get all of it out of here. Alrighty, that's it. All we gotta do now is I will put some aluminum foil on top of this, and I will throw it in the oven. And then about, I don't know, I'm gonna set it for an hour and 15 minutes. I'll check it at that point. Somewhere in between there, between now and that hour and 15 minutes, I will pull it out and I will remove the foil to cook it the rest of the way. So. Alrighty, we are back, and Carter J is gonna cover it with the foil for us. So what does covering it with foil do? Does it kind of help to hold the heat in, cook it just slower so it doesn't kind of get more done on the top or whatever? We just covered up with foil, and then like I said, about between now and an hour and 15 minutes, I'll check it, and then I'll pull the foil off at some point to make sure that we do get that top done and a little bubbly on top, I guess you'd say. I don't get it brown on top, but I like to get it done. So with foil, you have to be very careful, right? So that you don't cut yourself.
It got squishy.
So while he's doing that, I'm gonna show you what else we have cooking. We have black-eyed peas, and I just threw some salt, pepper, and bacon grease. And I do like a little bit of butter. So I did add a little bit of butter to my black-eyed peas. Now over here, we have fresh collard greens cooking. Ooh wee, those are gonna be so good. Little salt, pepper, and some bacon grease in there, and they're cooking down nicely. So it's gonna be a good supper, y'all. And yeah, it is. Okay, so we're gonna finish this and get it in the oven. Hey, we are back with a finished product.
We just got the meatloaf straight out of the oven.
Ta-da! It is out of the oven. Yes, it is. All right, so Carter is going to be our taste tester. So, Carter, do you want to take a bite of yours?
Yes.
Okay. That's a roll. by the way, Carter loves rolls. He wants rolls with his breakfast in the mornings as well. But just eggs and rolls. So the roll is really good. All right, let's move on to the meatloaf and let us know what you think about it.
Still eating.
He's a very slow eater. Okay, next. Take a bite of your meatloaf. Let's get it up here where everybody can see it. Our fine china. Let them see. Can you go up there and let them see it? Take it up there. Like, take your fork. There's our meatloaf.
It is.
Are you joking?
No. It's good.
So I guess it's not too bad. You're still eating it.
Yeah. I didn't say it was bad.
So it's good?
Mm-hmm.
You like it?
Mm-hmm.
What's different about this one and the ketchup one?
The sauce tastes different.
It's a little different. Yeah. Okay, so I guess I will take a bite of my own food. Now, I'm not like her. I like the black eyed peas and the greens and the meatloaf. So let's take a bite. Get a big bite of this meatloaf. I just got a crunch, just a slight crunch of the onion pepper. You don't really taste them, but yet all the flavors kind of marry together. I like it. Black eyed peas I love. I'm a black eyed pea girl. And collards. Y'all look at that. I love me some collard greens.
Can I do some magic tricks?
And they were cooked in that bacon grease, salt, pepper. Perfect. All right. That's Kimberly's meatloaf. I don't think that I said what I was baking it on, the temperature. I'm not sure if I said it earlier or not. Just in case I didn't, I did bake it for 1 hour and 15 minutes on a 350-degree oven. So I'm going to finish my plate. Y'all have a good one. Maybe we'll get Charlie up here to give his little input too. Okay, looks like it's Charlie's turn.
That's right.
Can't leave Charlie out.
I mean, you do it all the time.
Whatever. What was that?
Greens.
Are they good?
Black eyed peas.
I cooked them in that bacon grease and put a little butter in there.
I love meatloaf.
So are you glad that Carter asked for meatloaf tonight?
Yes, I am. That's the only way I get it is if somebody else asks for it.
Whatever.
I get it once a year.
Whatever.
Like I said, I love meatloaf.
Does it taste okay?
That's good. Thank you, Carter.
So I swapped out green peppers for poblano peppers this time.
Yeah, that's good.
All right.
Yeah, Poblano seem to be the go-to anymore, don't they?
Yeah, for us it does.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, so you got the final review, the final fact say-so from Charlie himself.
That's right.